I think the honorable thing for our species to do is deny our programming. Stop reproducing. Walk hand in hand into extinction. One last midnight, brothers and sisters opting out of a raw deal.
Do not trust any friends or family members. I repeat, do not trust friends.
Since we're talking,
no, I can't think of anybody off the top of my head.
There's no one that you're just too nice. That makes sense to me.
I used to feel that way about Nicolas Cage, but like really, like the past 5 years have really flipped that for me. I really
people mature,
turn arc. Yeah.
I guess it's only Zack Snyder that you hate.
Oh, that's true. Yes.
Yeah, but that's not an actor, right?
No,
but
that's on the creative, directorial side of things.
Gotcha. That's where the sin happens.
I was gonna say, I saw a Facebook post that said "Bring back the Snyderverse," and had like some like AI images of aged Ben Affleck and stuff. And I don't know. I thought of you guys. I was like, I wonder what the guys would think of that.
I wouldn't think well of it at all. I don't think it went well before. I think we have like an extensive podcast episode devoted to how well that didn't go. Yeah, I don't know. People are always going to say that shit. I don't know.
I would think that it's an army of bots now that is posting anything. Bring back the Snyderverse.
No, well, yeah, actually,
dead internet theory.
I think so. Yeah, because like, what was the stat that I shared with you guys? Like, it was something like 40% of posts are like fucking bots now.
Is that right? Is it that high?
Well, I have no idea. I didn't actually look up the origin of the little statistic, but like, frankly, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, even before Elon purchased Twitter, there was the understanding that the vast majority of posts were just sort of bots. He denied it, and then, as I understand it, kind of had to accept that was the fact later, because his big propaganda machine wasn't worth as useful and worth as much as he kind of thought it was going to be. So, and if that was the case then, it's got to be so much worse now. And it appears to be so. I don't know. I guess I should look that up, find out the origin of that particular sort of bit.
Sure.
Yeah. It's surprise, surprise. The internet is turning into an illusion.
Well,
yeah,
that's okay.
Is it coming out of the shadows at us?
Yeah, man,
I can honestly am getting like kind of like old and grumpy, and it's becoming like a tedium to use the internet. So I'll continue to slip away from it till I'm the fucking old guy at the mall that goes, I don't have a phone.
Okay, so you're thinking about going stick on us here.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Chris, I heard you trying to do I heard Chris trying to do a transition, and it just kind of didn't work. That's okay. Yeah, good effort though. E for effort here at the Extinction Agenda with James,
and Chris,
the man on the internet most likely to get his ex-girlfriend to bail him out of trouble. So
I wait with bated breath every time for the new transition now.
All right, so we're talking Daredevil. We're talking Frank Miller's Daredevil. Not a large chunk of it because we have busy lives, but issue 174 through to 177. This struck me as in our history of like where ninja come from in popular culture, etc. This struck me as like just sort of scanning through the Daredevil comics. Like, this is when the ninja does the ninja thing. Elektra had showed up earlier, but this is when we're finally talking about ninja with the hand and whatnot. So I think I don't know if I already said September 1981 through to I guess December 1981. Frank Miller's doing the writing and he's throwing down the pencils. Klaus Jansson's doing the inks. The colorist changes in one instance, but mostly it's Glennis Wayne, later to be Glennis Oliver. And I think letters are by Joe Rosen. And edited by Denny O'Neil. You know what, man? Honestly, Denny O'Neil as editor is not as writer, because he's a piece of shit writer, but as an editor, I think I'm not going to say it's a stamp of quality, but it might just be a stamp of quality. I don't want to go crazy here.
Yeah.
Of some sort of quality anyway. Like his all that shit he did with Chuck Dixon and Doug Mensch is in later years is maybe a little questionable, but still solidly
A
produced,
willingness to try things out, maybe. Like there's an openness to just letting a team run with something.
I think so. I think him and Archie Goodwin were pretty good at that sort of thing, as I understand it. But so, okay, these comics. I don't know when it's going to be the case, but at some point, Daredevil is the number 2 Marvel comic, like just below Uncanny X-Men. I don't have sales figures because they didn't have sales figures in 1981. I guess they did, but I don't have access to them. And so this is like a runaway hit. And like, I don't know if at this point it's already happened, but it's going to be happening, or it is starting to happen. I had never read these comics because I don't like, I really admire these comics, but I like, even having read them, I'm like, okay, that happened. There was some really cool stuff and I admired it, but I didn't love it. And so I've never really loved this era of Frank Miller's stuff. I always just kind of see the seeds of everything he'd do later, which is fair because it's like his first kind of work. So anyway, but that said, reading them this time, like, yeah, I get it. There's some quality bits in here, and he's definitely cooking. I guess maybe I just don't know what kind of meal he's making. Maybe he doesn't quite know, right? Had you guys read this stuff before?
I actually never have.
Okay.
And I'm usually a pretty devoted Frank Miller fan as far as Frank Miller fans go.
Yeah,
I think.
You
I
like
have
the
a lot
Frank
of his
Miller?
work. Yeah, I do. So I'm a little surprised with myself because this maybe is like something that'd be neat to have on hand, and I think it's just so competent. Like the panel layouts they're clean. There's a little bit of there's a little chop to his art, but overall his action's very fluid and movement, backgrounds, everything. And then the panel layouts are unique. They overlap a little bit here and there. There's some like action overlap that they use, but they're tight, man. They're clean, they're old school. There's a certain amount of counting for the panels, and like we read this digitally, but I can see how when you would open the book, like what you would get.
Yeah.
When you're doing like 4 panels across with two on the top and 4 panels across with 2 on the top, how it would look on a split page. He did some really cool work here, and it's. I'm not going to say it's ahead of its time. It's probably like dub standard for the time, but he knows how to handle it inside the space, and it's just, there's nothing to complain about when you're going through this. You're like, fuck, that's cool, that's well rendered. Actually, I do think the I don't know if it's the colorist or the inker that does them a little bit dirty. I think there's something that's a little bit missing from the artwork. I don't know if you guys are picking up on that at all, but
I think sometimes, I don't know, like I find myself wanting to read the original because the newsprint printing of this, I'd like to actually see it, like these digital versions or even the reprints or whatever, because they always use the glossy paper and whatnot, and the art comes off a little wrong as a consequence. Even the coloring would be probably very, like, it's not bad, but I always feel that it's much better on the original paper.
Yes.
So maybe something like that's going on. I will say just a slight comment, because I don't want to derail you too much, James. I do think that this is a little bit ahead of the time. I think if you did the Pepsi challenge with like a random 1981 comic against this, it's gonna look like outside of Claremont's X-Men, like things just don't look very good. And so like this might not feel very impressive nowadays, but I bet if we did like like a tournament 1981, one random month of Marvel Comics, this might top the charts pretty easily.
It does seem
art.
like that. Like it does feel like it rises to the top, and even just like sitting back and looking through it and like flipping through it while we're talking, you can.
Yeah,
I'm appreciating it more, like how the art's laid out, and the other thing too is the story was very fluid. Like it was easy to follow. There wasn't too much dialogue. When dialogue and exposition was needed, it was crammed into thoughts or little back and forths between the characters that were fun. And then we moved back into like a ninja action sequence because it's a fucking ninja action book, right? Like I don't know. It's just done so well, so properly that it's like hard to appreciate how good it is. But if that makes sense, but I think that I really liked it. I'm just having a hard time like judging it just on this little bit, but.
Yeah, that's fair. Honestly, the art gets better within the 4 issues after this. Like it sort of float. Like this isn't bad in any stretch here, but I think it becomes like after 177, which has its own has a uniqueness that we'll get to. But the things after that, I just feel he's getting better and better and better, and that's one of the things they were saying about him at the time. Jim Shooter's on record is just like Frank didn't really know exactly what he was doing when he started, but like he always wanted to learn, and he made sure that he got better and better with each issue. And I don't know, personally I kind of see it, but Chris, what did you think of these? Have you read these before?
No, I've not read them before. I was shocked at how much I love them. Like I thought they were fantastic. I thought they were among some of the best things that we've read, to be honest.
That's amazing. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Right.
the art. Like I normally, like art kind of glosses over for me to some extent, but like this passes the comics test so hard. Like you can follow everything
Sure does.
without
Yeah.
words, like moment to moment. It's like James was saying, very fluid. Emotion is expressed. Like I just know what's happening. I don't need to see what's being said. And I felt it lent at the same. I felt exactly the same way. I want to own these at some point. Like I will probably spring for them because I just think it's cool and I want to see what it looks like on a page. But digitally, like there was something to reading in that format that translates really well to Miller's art because like you get to like a point where there'd be a switch between pages and like Elektra's like there's one particular image where like ninjas are looking in the window at Matt, I think, and Foggy, and they want to ambush them as they're having this reconciliation. And then like Elektra's behind them, but then like the next panel immediately switches to their perspective where she's just like jump kicking them. And like these moments of surprise come at you. And I was actually like pumped to witness them. And I got excited at them. Like this would give you more action within like an issue than most comics will within a 12-month run. So
It's
really
super
cool.
full.
Yeah,
That's one of the things
many
that
ideas.
I'm definitely. It's just like the number of things that happen is it's just very dense, but it doesn't feel dense. And this gets to what James was saying. Like it doesn't suffer for it. Almost I think it becomes less talky as he goes on, as he's trying to incorporate more like Lone Wolf and Cub influence.
Okay.
Because like somewhere around here, one of the things that is I don't know precisely when it's happened, but like Lone Wolf and Cub fucking changes Frank Miller's fucking existence. So his early on Daredevil business is very much Will Eisner and the Spirit. He's looking at Joe Kubert. He's just studying the American classics. And that comes off, I think that seriously comes off in particularly issue 177 struck me as very Will Eisner. And again, we'll get to that, but he's just doing some like classic comic stuff very competently, looking to Neil Adams, I think. then he ends up in like some sort of studio with Walt Simonson and Howard Chaykin and his soon-to-be wife and partner Lynn Varley. They, or at least partner, they and as he tells it, like they're introducing him to Lone Wolf and Cub and Mobius and European comics generally, and his brain is exploding. And you kind of see some of that starting to come out here, and it comes out more and more and more, and then it explodes as Ronin. And then it ties back in, like restrained in with Dark Knight Returns. But anyway, that's just a long way of saying that, like, he is experimenting with things to make things dense and at the same time very accessible, very readable, and very martial artsy. And then also still very superhero-y.
Yeah, the other thing I was really struck by is I'm not a huge Daredevil reader. From time to time, I dabble. From time to time, it captures my interest. But I was looking a little bit into the history of this, and so throughout the 70s, influences are like it begins as sort of like a swashbuckling comic, and then like as Marv Wolfman, as Miller, is that who wrote it before?
Who before Marv Wolfman?
Yeah,
there was Roger McKenzie. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But like these slowly some psychological subtlety starts creeping in, like sort of like a little bit of recklessness. But I feel like this is where a turning point happens, where we're seeing a Matt Murdock who is like self-destructive, and just like that idea of like the Daredevil being like something that is core to himself and like maybe self-sabotaging. And as he loses his powers in this one, like sort of like the recklessness comes out, like where he's like blind, like literally blind, just like, man, I hope that light pole is still there, because like I'm diving without thought from like 8 stories high, and and like as Heather kind of witnesses, like he could have died, like he's like, it's just, you get that sense that there's like something damaged about Matt Murdock, and like it really kicks the comic into a different, like, it's a great dimension to explore.
It's funny, I'm thinking of him as like the ground level Hal Jordan. They're both men without fear. They're both that's that'd be an interesting matchup. Okay, all right. So this story, what I know we were just talking about like how dense it is and whatnot, but what's the basic story here? What are we talking about between issue 174 and 177? Take a hack at it, James.
It's mostly just like Elektra. So you've got Elektra having a quick run-in with a couple of hand boys and then deciding that since ninjas are after Matt Murdock, she's gonna reintroduce himself sort of into the background of Daredevil's life, even though they've had some kind of like, I guess it's just a bad breakup. So she comes back around in the midst of some trying legal battles and so on and so forth, where a bomb goes off in front of Matt Murdock's office and makes him lose his mojo.
Okay.
Without his radar mojo, he's having difficulty, figuratively getting it up, in the Daredevil way. So it's sort of what he has to go through is his ex-girlfriend and current girlfriend sort of like messing with his masculinity while he tries to find himself again. That's what I think.
Oh my. What about, and then how does he, that's kind of interesting. And how does he find it again with like an interaction with his
finding his creepy old man friend in a bar and getting put through sleep deprivation and torture until he manned up. Yeah.
That is so Catholic. That is so Catholic.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, there we go. That's a skeleton we can hang our coat off of that particular skeleton. One thing that not super relevant to what you said, but like, I don't want it to go unmentioned. or maybe it'll be a way to like we can marry the two things together. But this comic, what really impressed me about this comic this time, or not impressed, like stood out to me this time, not this time, like having finally read it, is how much of Image Comics is right here. Just you got your bad girl, she's doing her poses. Frank really likes to draw her doing sexy stuff, and there's guns, there's ninja, there's like it's just it's the entire, it's not the entire package, but it's definitely a whole stream of comics flows from this, in the same way that a lot of stuff flows from Watchmen, that I didn't appreciate until I saw Elektra doing that stretch yoga pose thing at the beginning of issue 175. I was like, wow, what do we got here? This is you're not going to get this in 1981.
At least he's somewhat subtle. I mean, he's not subtle about it, but like there are many panels where she's just sort of like dressed normally and doing stuff, but then occasionally you just get like the butt shot and she's like scaling off a wall. You're like, I see what's going on here, Frank.
Yeah. And just popular with the fanboys for some reason. I don't know why.
You know what? I got Elektra after that. Like I didn't really see what the fuss was before, but she's like a murdery guardian angel in this, and she's like, which is kind of like a fun play on like him being the Daredevil. But she just, it's like playing hard to get. He'll be like, "What happened to those other two guys?" And like, she just isn't revealing herself, and just like murdering people unrelentingly in the background. Like some of the images too, like where she just pops up between those guys and like drives the size into their hearts. Fantastic.
Oh, and she's fighting that the super ninja guy, whatever his fucking name is, Kirigi.
Oh, Kirigi.
Yeah, he fucking hits him with a truck. That was amazing.
Yes.
That was when she dispatched him. I was like, this is choice. And then he comes up in flames and is decapitated. I feel that.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I feel like that establishes her ninja superiority in a. I don't know. I feel that very much elevated her. That she was being hunted by like an immortal assassin that was like feared and revered through the ages. Hunted her throughout the background of this entire story, and she dispatched him. That's serious.
But what's especially, and okay, so yes, but that wouldn't be good enough for a melodrama. Like what you want to feel things. You want this soap operatic element with the comics, and so the moment she kills him, she's like, "Am I also going to be able to kill Daredevil?" And then like he takes it, like even after the end of all of that, it's basically an opportunity for Frank to have her standing sad, like Charlie Brown moping at the end of a dock, with all this sadness. She shudders, touched by something colder than the wind.
Well, and when she dispatches him the first time, because like there's that encounter in the fake weapon shop that they try to plant a card to be like, oh, check out this ninja emporium, and they know it's a trap, but she goes in, and she dispatches Kirigi the first time, and that's a great fight too. But like Daredevil hauls himself up the stairs, and he's like, "You're under arrest." What?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he's like, he has to bring it. He can't live with the fact that she is murdering people on his behalf. But like he needs her, and like you can feel there is a dark attraction there, and it's cool. It's cool to see it play out.
And it is, Doug's going to be doing this thing with Nocturna and Catwoman and that sort of thing. Like I'm not saying there's a direct connection, but like I think they're both producing. Yeah, it's just in the same space of because this is stupid. Like like when the hero comes up, it's like, "You're under arrest." You're like, dude, that's dumb. Like you live in the 50s. What's the matter with you? In the world of ninjas and assassins, you're fighting Kingpin. You want to like put this lady under arrest?
Dissolve when they are defeated. So like,
yeah. What's your evidence there, Matt? Yeah. I would love to see these, as much as I love the coloring and the inking, and actually what I would love to see is like no letters, just the pencils and inks. No letters or colors. Because there's a lot of, getting back to the art just for a moment, there's a lot of Sin City in this. There's a lot of like proto stuff that he's going to do, and like it's even more pronounced as he proceeds with Daredevil. Like it's almost as if he didn't actually do anything new with Sim City. It was just like, here's the things I like to do that I practice doing on Daredevil. But yeah, just sometimes, like, I don't know, issue 174, he's coming into his office and it's all shadows on the wall. And there's masks on the wall, and you can see Elektra's silhouette. Like there's just a lot of silhouette work that I would love to see rendered with, like I said, without the color or whatever. Cause like it just, that's when Frank fucking sings a lot of the time. Yeah. Which is great for a ninja story. It suits him well.
Yeah. And marrying it with noir too, like the sort of like someone in over their head, and like the law is not going to be enough to set it right. You're just gonna have to deal with it on yourself, and things are gonna get dark, and like it's gonna get way worse.
Yeah. James, what do you think about Daredevil generally? Like, actually, let me ask a more specific question. What do you think about the fact that Daredevil is a lawyer who is also a vigilante? Or how do you feel about that?
I struggle with Daredevil because there is something. This is great. This is a great book. I like Frank. I love his writing. I like his artwork. Everything's cool here. Daredevil, though, I struggle with in kind of a similar like vein that I struggle with Green Lantern. You've got a moral code, that's great. So why are you different than any other stupid fucking superhero with a moral code? Like you're not going to kill anybody. You're just going to maim people. You're in the super violent streets. That's just like I that superhero narrative is a little too common for me. The blind lawyer seems like a little too kooky at times with Foggy, and I just like there's a little too much camp. He's like what if we made Spider-Man like even more fucking Scooby-Doo-ish? And that's what I get out of Daredevil. Like I don't like it. I like his villains. Actually, this is one of the cases, a rare case for me, where I find your villains to be more intriguing than your hero in terms of like what you can do creatively with the Kingpin and how he operates politically, especially nearing the end of this. I just think he's so cool, and I like that he's a bridge across villain for the street level guys like the Spider-Man, the Daredevil also. But yeah, Daredevil himself, and then like what it makes no sense that like a milky-eyed, chemical burned, plaid jacket fucking lawyer with this goofy buddy is out here bedding any women he wants like he's Batman. It's like we cross-pollinated too many characters here and ended up with kind of a stupid idea. It's too stupid. And that's where Daredevil sits for me. I don't know.
Yeah. Frank, in his introduction, I'll always remember this because the book was so important to me. The introduction to the 10th anniversary hardcover of Dark Knight Returns, he talks about some of the times that he's writing Daredevil. And he pitches a story to Denny O'Neil, and Denny O'Neil is like, "Nope, that's a Batman story. Sorry." Apparently that would happen from time to time. So, like, I think that speaks to what you're talking about. Yeah, Daredevil is like neither fish nor fowl. The gimmick of the blind lawyer is interesting. Foggy comes off pretty well in this story. I found, like, even though he's a pathetic fella, but then when he rises up to the challenge, he's revealed to be like kind of a little bit of a shark. But overall, though, like their bromance is really, that's a lot. You're not just my friend. You're not just my friend. I need you. I need you, pal. He kind of does, though. He really, Foggy pretty much like saves his bacon at the last minute in some sort of case that he can't even show up for because he's Daredevil.
I like the idea that like there's this whole courtroom. I find the courtroom drama stuff kind of like cheesy. I don't like the I don't know. It's a little too. You're right. It's goofy. Like the like juxtaposition between like that's the stuff about Daredevil I don't like. And so like zooming into like the sort of like darker undertone in this, that I think that is partially why it surprised me. But this like there's this whole courtroom drama of like, oh, the hottest legal team is breaking up, and like there's a sense of like all these lawyers are gossiping about it. It's like a celebrity, like to the point where it plays into like the like their rival in the case of we've not talked about yet, Gladiator. They're defending like one of his supervillains who's like trying to go straight and like is forced to put on his gauntlets again. That's amazing. He is like their rival lawyer like thinks that it's been a trick all along to make them think that the team's breaking up just so that they can like turn the corner at the last minute. It's silly.
Yeah. So they're doing what they're trying to squeeze as much juice out of like all the facets of Daredevil as possible, but it's pretty clear that the most interesting bits are not the lawyery bits. Because like, how are you going to portray that in a? I would really like to see something like that. Maybe at some point. Maybe it's already been done. I feel that Brian Michael Bendis would be perfect for this. Just do 12 Angry Men with Daredevil. Don't do the Decalogue with Daredevil, Bendis. Don't do it. Because that didn't work out very well. Do 12 Angry Men and use your word talking powers, make all the dialogue, blah, 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 have a reveal where Kingpin's somehow behind it all. You know, you can have that one for free, Brian. That's for you. Yeah, but yeah, ninjas and shit, man, because it's a superhero comic. That's the thing, man. Like, he's kind of a dud for a lot of reasons for that you've already touched on, James. Like it's just too many. Like he's basically like your poor man Spider-Man, whose job is like visually uninteresting.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's the more mundane because even the idea of Spider-Man being either a student and then later on we get a little Straczynski action, your favorite. He becomes a teacher. Even that environment is more fun and dynamic than a courtroom.
Yeah,
and that's just the struggle. Is
it feels like the only point you can make in the courtroom is that like the people slip through the cracks sometimes, so you need a dude to go beat the shit out of them, which I mean can be satisfying for certain stories, but it's a little one note.
Yeah, I think that what Miller's trying to do here is he's trying like on because the Gladiator thing, he's trying to go straight, and Daredevil sees the good in people, and his means of redeeming people, priest-like, is to rehabilitate them in the eyes of societal convention, in the eyes of the law, and you know, he can put them on the straight and narrow. He can keep them out of prison because like that shit is keep them from reoffending, or try to help them to not reoffend, etc. So I don't know. It's kind in a way, it's kind of more useful. He might be actually the most useful of all the superheroes in terms of like legal stuff. Like when Spider-Man beats up Dr. Octopus, he's just going to send him to Blackgate or something, right? Like it's just like another deviant locked up. But Daredevil wants to. He wants to create a better world.
Isn't that yeah, there's a part to that, but that's hard to do well in terms of story. I don't know that anyone does that properly. This is The best part about this is that the political piece, well, in this story, we don't really get a real glimpse into that until the end with that politician and Kingpin, but the whole story is mostly hinged on like the ninja piece. So he manages to keep sort of Foggy and some other pieces keeping the melodrama sort of at a minimum while you get to sort of experience the ninja girlfriend story, which is cool, and
Yeah.
he knows what the readers want clearly. So
Yeah.
I like the like you're saying, I like the Kingpin stuff and the Rogues Gallery in this too. And I love the fact that Kingpin is like, listen, I'm gonna get to Daredevil because I noticed that he seems to have an interest in this Matt Murdock guy, and so like we'll just send some guys to kill Matt Murdock, and like then that'll wind him up, and we'll set the hand like we'll set them against each other, and that's how you do power. But like he doesn't know that they're the same guy. It's just sort of like he's observed some things, and it's like, well, there's a connection. I'll make use of this.
Yeah. And later on, as you probably know, like that's going to become known, in Born Again and that sort of thing. Yeah. What I was really pleased with is J. Jonah Jameson.
Yes.
In like there's just like this not a rehabilitation, because he's still the same guy that hates Spider-Man, but he's also the editor of the New York Times. And the dude's name, who I can't think of, Robbie. Actually, no, not Robbie. Yeah. What's this guy's fucking name? Why can't I think of it? Anyway, fella's coming in, the reporter, and he wants to break the story. And so like there is this again, Miller's pointing to like the pillars of American, like the norms of American society. Like you've got the free press shining light on the corruption of politicians. You've got the hero who's dealing with the law. It's all these things that we hoped would deal with racist grandpa, but it believes that possibly you can deal with racist grandpa through those channels. And maybe Daredevil is ahead of its time, because it's like, actually, guys, you can't.
You know what the parallel is, though?
Yeah.
If there's a modern parallel, it's Rupert Murdoch publishing like Epstein file stuff, and like that, it's that grimy.
Yeah.
Because I think what I've thought a lot about this week, the King, J. Jonah Jameson's moment, because it is great, like how he's just like, don't bury the story, let's publish it. But I think the way that Jameson does right is that he loves taking a guy down, especially someone who like appears to be above it, like morally. And so that politician is like, he's presenting himself that way. And like, it's not really known that he's in Kingpin's pocket at this point.
And it's presented and this is another situation where I'd love to see just like the pencils and the inks without the colors, because it's all silhouettes, it's all shadows, it's all the stuff that he's going to make use of in so many things. And he controls the pacing so well. You want it killed, there's a shot from like the ceiling fan's perspective. And then we got the light coming up from underneath. No, just make sure of your facts. Very sure. Yeah. No, it's not. I don't know. Like it's just a good. He's taking all these Spider-Man bits. Like Kingpin starts off in Spider-Man. Punisher starts off in Spider-Man. J. Jonah Jameson, obviously Spider-Man. And just making them work.
Yeah. Then he's got to go to Foggy for help.
Fucking
Defend
Foggy.
himself from lawsuits.
Stupid Foggy.
Yeah. That is his best moment, though, probably.
Where he shakes down Jonah?
Yeah. It's good.
Wait, what? Who shakes down Jonah?
Foggy.
Oh, you're right. For the office. Pardon me. You're right. Yeah.
You placed.
We need a lawyer. Yeah.
Speaking of well controlled,
we need some money to fix the place up.
Yeah. Let's go, Becky.
Check in the morning.
This there's a fun, like, I wanted to know more about like these like pathetic little jobber villains that Daredevil has, like the the guy who steals the power suit and like is always like, like, oh, let's take him down, and his henchmen are like, no, that always just gets us punched out. Turk.
Oh yeah.
Because he senses something's off. But then there's that whole like sequence with wall-eyed,
And
whatever.
wall-eyed pike.
Yeah, so
Love that.
good. Yeah, like within the span of like 3 pages, like 4 of these guys like just come like busting into his house as he gripes about like how like shitty it is being a low-level crook. Elektra kicks out the window and then like dives back out, and then like the guy busts through the wall. Daredevil comes through his skylight and like goes out the same way that Elektra went. It's amazing.
It's 2 pages and just like so many panels, and just for like an elaborate joke, and it's super ham-fisted.
Yeah,
Because it's basically Frank saying like, how do I get all these characters to show up at the same place at the same time doing the same thing or whatever, and it's just like, I know what to do. Wall-eyed pike.
We'll just make it funny.
Yeah.
Well, it's beautiful because it was a little bit of comedic relief, and it was clever. And at the end, he's finally just saying, "He's at Duke's. He's at Duke's," and it was such a fun, like. That's just it. If you're going to tell a story and you need to suspend disbelief and you also want to be lazy, at least implement a tool. Use comedy so that I think it's a funny, stupid moment, And it's just one of those things where like this is just showing what he can do. And later you'll see that you're able to accept some of his like angry political narratives and wild stories due to the use of like crazy comedy. You can see that in City even too.
Yeah. That's it exactly, because this issue is basically like a transition of like how do we get all of these elements into place. Like it's like people pursuing and it's just kind of neatly tied into a bow because of that. And then you get Kiri on fire, Kagiri.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kiri.
Ninjas are really good at being on fire. That's something I'm learning in Ninja Month.
But that's right. They catch on fire. That is the thing that we have learned.
Ninjas are combustible as fuck. Yeah.
That's how you beat them. Okay. Since we don't want to be talking about this for like fucking forever, the last issue, Daredevil 177. I'm super curious about what you thought of this one, James.
The Satan one?
Yeah, where he's trying to learn how to shoot the bow and arrow.
Yeah, so this is the one where instead of having any kind of it's funny because he's having these traumatic flashbacks, and then Stick had decided to keep him awake for multiple days. He's going to get him his radar sense back by facing his inner demons, which is basically like a sort of like a mirror back into his past. So he's terrorizing him by keeping him awake. This is where we get our J. Jonah Jameson doing some political recourse, where he's gonna rat on this guy that's in bed with the Kingpin, kind of, and get himself in a little trouble for some narrative later. The funny thing too is they add Daredevil's girlfriend in, who like decides to go and just like whatever slut it up.
That's right. Yeah.
And this is all happening and then Daredevil. What caught me off guard, I sent you guys a funny screenshot into the group chat, was the devil, the literal devil comes for him in his own inner demons, and the funny thing that it keeps repeating to him while it's like battling him is like I'm gonna kill you. Scared, you scared, and he keeps pushing back until he gets his radar sense back, and then the narrative from Stick is that like either you're gonna get your radar sense back or you're gonna die.
Yeah.
So he just shoots an arrow directly at his head. This issue is like great fun, and the artwork was really cool. I like that he like did that. He like employed like a black and white and sort of like a blue wash to make it so that he's not. It's like an astral projection of himself, sort of battling his old horrors and stuff, and it works as a reboot almost.
Yeah, I don't know how much he's tackled. You're right, though. Everyone's like, what a good run on a superhero book will kind of bake in the origin. Like once again, even Chris Claremont did that after the Dark Phoenix saga. The issue afterwards is kind of like a retrospective on like a reframing of all the things that had come before and putting it within the context of the new narrative that's being presented. You're right. Something like that is happening here. I was really taken with. So this is. I mean, you've probably looked at, because I know it's on your shelf, like the comics and sequential art, the Will Eisner thing. I know. I don't think neither you nor I have spent a lot of time with Will Eisner, but like these sequences with the pencil shavings, it's basically like what if the astral plane or time travel was the fundament, like pencils, like just pencil shadings. And then you'll study. This is all from like the spirit and stuff like that. And so like I really took it as like an homage to like Miller's primary interest or influence. He's stealing a lot of techniques from sort of an acknowledged master that again, I'll admit that I really don't know a lot about.
What's funny in thinking about that is I wonder if Daredevil's used as a sort of a funny muse in that sense that Frank's staying up all night, hours of the night to create this artwork and writing.
That's interesting. Yeah, you might be right about that. Another thing that I noticed about this was that Frank really wants to draw Green Arrow. Stick looks like Green Arrow. He's even got the bow and arrow and stuff. It's crazy. Particularly like that, or you're gonna die. Like he's shooting the arrow right at him. There's a desire embedded within there that is gonna show up again later.
That's interesting.
I don't know, just the art on this was like pretty unique for a Frank Miller comic. Like with these, when the devil shows up and stuff, that's not something that you tend to see from Frank. He's not. It's not like it's strangely, it's not cartoonish and abstract enough. It seems a little. It is abstract, but it's not actually. It's cartoonish and abstract, but like not in the way that he would draw by the time he's doing 300 or something, where it would just be like super fucking weird, or Dark Knight Strikes Again. He just doesn't do supernatural stuff. I guess that's the point. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and this is like it's very clean. It's shocking on the page, so it's supernatural in all the right ways. Like I was stunned when I flipped over to it, and then the choice to sort of keep him in that like shadow realm. And I don't know. I just it was like, it's like you say. It's like this Frank Miller is doing all the right sequential art things, which is something that he doesn't do as he ages, and that we sort of grew up with Frank Miller not getting better. So it's nice to see him not only be good but be improving. It's a cool era, Taylor Swift era of Frank Miller to go back and visit.
And yeah, when getting back to the girlfriend who's slutting it up, she there's that one page scene where she's just like in a nightgown and she's just tortured about Matt, and Matt's going out. Oh no, what am I gonna do? And it's very romance comics. Like there's just Frank's just cycling through all these types of comics, formats, paces, techniques, all that stuff. He's just trying it all out. Just to, but she's such a nothing character. I don't know who she is. It's kind of like all this effort. Yeah, it's it. Yeah, she just all this effort in search of a character.
Her best line.
She's great looking, so I feel that he's I don't know what he's doing, but he's giving us something. He's like sort of like playing around with her, and it's fun to have these. I mean, it's fun to have babes in comics. Come on.
Well, that's
Yeah.
where image comes from. What's her best line, Chris? What were you gonna say?
Her best line, easy man, I'm a flirt, not a gymnast. And she's surrounded by these three dudes who are all hitting on and me.
It's
But I think the one thing that's good about it could be anybody, but like she knows that he's Daredevil, and she can say like, like this is an exciting, it's great to be having a fling with Daredevil, but like you have to be on all the time, and it's another way of getting at that sort of like underlying like recklessness that Miller's developing here. So to that extent, I liked that. I mean, she's just there to be like, oh no, he forgot the date again. I hate him, but
Yeah.
that's
I'm
fine.
sorry. So what is her name? That's
It's
not Karen.
Heather.
Oh, it's Heather. Okay, so it's not even Karen Page. It would be cooler if it was Karen Page. It had this whole like fucking thing in the background. Yeah. What about ninjas in this? Did we learn anything about ninjas?
no.
No, not a blessed thing.
There's a mysticism that Miller's bringing into it, and I don't know if that comes from Mensch or like his dabblings in Orientalism, but they dissolve when they are defeated. They Karigi is potentially immortal, or at least they can bring him back somehow. Like there's these sort of like weird elements to what's going on here, and I can't say I don't enjoy it.
Yeah, you might be right about the because there is the tradition, like the kung fu tradition, that associates martial arts with the mystic arts and stuff like that. I will say, like in the movies, they're not immortal. They're not people that disappear into gas. They're not, like maybe in fiction or like honestly, I don't know. But I feel like within, basically, he just gives them the ultimate henchman quality. They just dissolve once they've served the plot. Yeah. I think that's a very attractive quality for writers.
There's some great. Speaking of which, there's some great like ninja moments in this. Like the I'm just whizzing by here, but the like when she goes into the store and she's like pretending to be some just like who's like these falling stars, and she's like, let me just see them, and then she just turns and like throws them and hits 5 ninjas that are lurking in the curtains, and then it's on, but she's like dealing with them single-handedly. But the that moment where the 3 like henchmen escape and they have to pay their penance, and I guess it's really the moment where you're introduced to Karigi. Like they're basically their handler says, like you have to die for this, and like they're like, hey, careful brothers, like we'll have to fight, and he just dispatches them, 3 of us,
impossible,
one single stroke. Yeah, and they all just fall dead. Fucking awesome. And then you get the handler like giving him the picture of Elektra, and like it burns, and like this, like, oh, this is gonna be a trouble for her. Very cool.
Yeah, I like how they're looking at each other. Remarkable, 3 of us.
Was there anything where she was Elektra was responsible for them dissolving? It was almost like they accidentally sort of made it seem that way at one point.
I don't think
like
so.
She's like, I'm not going to tell Matt about this. And it felt like, did she make them dissolve? But
no, it's probably just the murder she didn't want to admit to.
Yeah, because they dissolve on their own. Fair.
Yeah.
I like, he even fucking coughs. Like, what the fuck? Their whole body, like, what is that? Anyway, cool henchman. The whole, it's good stuff. It does feel like Kingpin's a little out of his, like, he's a little over his head, but he's not. Yeah, he should be over his head. But, yeah, okay, well, you know what? These comics are good. They are solid fucking comics. Very interesting. not just as an artifact in the history of Frank Millerology, but in comics generally, I can see what the Big Fuss was about. Big Fuss is totally worth it. Big surprise. That's I probably should have a copy of this on hand, but I'm always hesitant. Marvel does a terrible job of reprinting its material on paper stock that makes it worth my while.
It's true.
So I'll take it.
Do better, Marvel.
Yeah.
I've got that Iron Man, and I can tell you it's all smoothed out, and you'd hate it.
Oh man, I know. Any last thing about any of this before we move? Programming change. So we're not going to watch Revenge of the Ninja because that movie is awful. It's just terrible. Okay. It doesn't. Right. It's just we're going to watch American Ninja because we believe in American ninjas around here on the X-tinction agenda.
Yeah, we believe in America.
Yeah, fucking as the 51st state of the United States of America, we salute you, dear listeners.
Elektra, Matt Murdock's college girlfriend, now an assassin for hire.
And I stole one of Will Eisner's best spirit stories of a character called Sans Serif. Stole it structurally top to bottom. I make no excuses. He knows it, and I told him.
Was always slightly in contempt of the nice girl next door who your mother was always introducing you to. It was a slut down the street that was really interesting.